All right, we're live. Gotta stop talking to me, Victoria. Victoria. All right, hopefully I don't have any crusty things on my face and not too much grime on my teeth because it's a slow moving morning, so we're not even ready for it. Oh, Vic, can you bring that stand? The phone stand? Thank you. Hi, everybody. No, I brought it up there, so. Hi. Hi, Maya. Let's see. Vic has me cooking again, so I don't mind talking and walking, standing and cooking. I just don't like to have to cook in a dirty kitchen. I don't like that part. I don't want to have to wash dishes and then start cooking. That's kind of like a peeve. But that's what I'm gonna have to do. Hi, Chris. Hi. I don't even have on any earrings. I'm really leaning in. I got a ski ball, no earrings. It's okay, right? Got my same outfit on from the other day. It's okay, right? Vic is gonna take her time to bring the phone stand, so I might need to just go get it. That'll give everybody else a chance to come on in, friends. There we go. I'm talking smack.
Mommy?
Of course. She says okay. Oh my God. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. How's everybody? Y'all sleep good? Vic and I woke up this morning and we were kind of comparing notes around our first awakening moments in the morning and how, I don't know about y'all when you wake up in the morning, I'm sure it differs from day to day, but we've been waking up with this kind of sense of startled. It's not startled panic. It's not panic as in like fear, but it's like, it's like feeling like you're late for something. Or feeling like you're not prepared for something. You didn't sleep good either and don't? That's not good. It's a lot of energy like fast when we wake up. It's like jumping back into it. I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe. It's a very nuanced feeling. It's definitely not fear. I don't wake up afraid of the day or afraid of what's gonna happen, but I wake up like, I've been waking up feeling like I'm behind, so I gotta like jump back in the day. That's kind of more like what it feels like, feeling not prepared or feeling like I gotta catch up on some shit. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know. But it's been disruptive. It's a disruptive kind of energy. It doesn't feel like the natural flow start to my day that I want. Oh, maybe that's part of it. Well, I'm menopausal. I ain't had a cycle in a long, 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 long time. And I praise God for that. Shit. For really though. Like really praise God for that. So it's not that for me. I feel like it's more conditional. It's more environmental. It is tied to what feels like a big burst of blessings to come, and I feel like I'm not ready for it. That's what it feels like. It feels like anxious energy, but anxious, exciting energy. That's what it feels like to me. Y'all give me a second real quick so I can get back to, yeah, so I've been trying to like really work with that. Wait, that's not, okay. Yeah, I've been trying to really work with that. And what's funny is when I was trying to come up with my title for today, in this video today, I was drawn to this language of this reminder that I'm not behind. It's like what I was talking about yesterday, of feeling like, you're tired of waiting for something, you're tired of waiting for your big break, or you're tired of waiting for opportunity, you're tired of waiting for shit to change. It's like this tired of waiting energy, it could show up differently for each one of us. It might show up as anxiety, it might show up as insomnia, it might show up as kind of irritation and snappiness. It's like that frequency is disruptive in all kind of ways. And like for me, it's like I don't know how to explain it. But what I do know is that all of the negative projections that we put on conditions that be worrying us. Okay, Vic's on it. all the I'll speak for my own self. For me, all of the expectations that I have for myself, in terms of when things should be happening and how they should be happening, all these kind of expectations, it's like I have to temper this negative emotion because it comes up as judgment. It's not just the expectation of a standard of what I want or what I envision, but it's like it's stress. It's self-inflicted stress because things aren't unfolding in the timeline by which I wanted to unfold, right? And this is just a part of being a person, a human. We don't control our situations. We can control how we respond, but life is gonna life whenever it's time to life. Yeah. So I don't know, I've been really sitting with that. These thoughts that try to tell me that I'm behind, that I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. That's what I'll be waking up with. Is this inner narrative that's like, it should be done. You should be doing X, Y, and Z. It's like these shoulds that we put on ourselves. And I know I'm not the only one. You all have expectations for yourself. You probably have expectations for people around you, right? Naturally. But those personal reflections, I'll say that, those personal reflections like, damn, I'm behind schedule, or dang, I should be doing X, Y, or Z that's better and different. It's like, we got to temper that in a real honest way. I know I'm having to really temper that shit because I got a lot of perfectionist kind of energy, and that serves its blessing and its burden. Perfectionism meaning that, I want things to be not just done a certain way, but done fucking well at a high level in that certain way. And it's easy when you have that kind of level expectation on your life, it's easy to feel like you're off course a lot. a lot. Okay? It's like if you go back through your life journey and all the experiences that you've had to this point, I'm sure there's plenty of shit that you've experienced that you didn't expect would have been the case. Things went down in a particular sequence that wouldn't have been how you would write it. And to that point, things may have happened against your choice making, out of your control, that actually served you well. Things you didn't plan or predict or have on your bingo card, as we say, it actually worked out for in a great way for you. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm being triggered to a lot of different images in this moment. But yeah, this notion of feeling behind, I'm really having to work with myself on that. I'm really having to be a lot more compassionate with myself and trusting in not just myself, but in divine timing and divine order. Like nothing's out of place. Those things that still haven't gotten done yet, It's okay that it's not done yet because it's not supposed to get done yet. It's not ready. It's not time. It's not time. And I'll give you an example. Like I was sharing with Vic this morning, I'm a visionary. I have really grandiose visions of this platform that God has given me through downloads and dreams and casual conversations. Clarity of a vision that is so big that it feels so daunting. It has so many arms and legs and components and people and things that require it to really function optimally. It is so much. It feels, even in all of its glory and greatness, it feels like a burden sometimes. And not because it's not good and not meaningful, not valuable, and not even because I don't want it. I absolutely want it. But the pressure that I often experience inside of myself to meet those high standards of get it done and get it done well and make it efficient and make it functional and make it impactful and make it meaningful and make it accessible. Like all of these layers that it takes me through, it's like, fuck. I be second guessing that shit sometime. Do I really want to do all of this? Because this feels stressful. And then I awaken to my conscious mind that wakes up with that, like I feel behind, I'm not prepared, it's not going right. And I have to really self-regulate that. I have to really get underneath those thoughts. And it was nice to be able to talk to Vic about it out loud, because I normally just kind of self-regulate in silence. Or I'm using my self-talk, like, okay, Allah-mi, I know anytime you feel frustration or you feel angst, you feel that internal pressure, you are out of alignment with it. Because your gift and your purpose and your sole goal here is not stressed. It knows what to do. It knows when to do it. It trusts the timing of all the things. And there's a synchronicity that brings it forward. Not just sheer work and effort and plans. It's not that shit that brings it forward, in fact. So my self-talk was really this morning about remembering. This is why I titled the video that. It's like, I'm not behind. I'm not behind. I'm being built. This time in between where I am and what I want to see happen, I'm growing. I'm learning. I'm uncovering new shit. I'm developing new skills and new insight. New insight. Sometimes we be so focused on the outcome that we forget that in the process of it all, we are learning, growing, evolving, becoming awakened and enlightened, and becoming wise far beyond what a simple outcome can bring us. It's like we're being built in this meantime, in the wait. There are things that we have to learn in this meantime, in the wait. There's things we have to uncover and discover in the meantime and in the wait. So that's where I'm at this morning. Is really talking myself back off the ledge of, bitch, you're behind, you ain't doing it right, you could have did this, and this, and you let this, and this fall away, and that ain't even right. Like my self-talk, my negative self-talk, oh, she got a mouth too. She can go if I let it. If I want to get into that spiral of despair, it's not hard. Y'all know, our biggest enemy is ourself. There's no closer voice that's talking to us than ourself. And if our self-talk is not positive or encouraging, supportive, if it is instead critical and judgmental and harsh, and it lacks compassion And when we forget to give ourselves grace. Man, you don't need your enemies. You all up in there already. You front row, poisoning your own process. So that's where I woke up this morning. And I thank God for it, because in this moment, as I'm really processing it more and more and more, is I'm not behind. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to fucking be. And case in point is I wouldn't be talking to you all about this message right now if I didn't have that experience. I wouldn't have felt inclined to remind you that you are not behind. And many of you really need to hear that. Doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are or wherever you judge yourself in between. It doesn't matter. You are right where you're supposed to be right now. And it's not a punishment. It's not a sentence. It's not a burden. If I stay stuck in that mindset of like, I'm all poo-faced because shit ain't going the way I want it to go. If I stay stuck in that, I miss the magic of the moment. I come to miss the fact that, while things may not be how I envisioned them or want them to be, the way they are has value too. And if I'm not paying attention to what is, so for me, as an example, I've been in business for umpteen years. It's like I can look at anybody else's brand, business, enterprise, and be able to tell them from a 360 view all the things that they can do to make that business pop. I'm getting all the chills, okay? Just like anybody, we all can give everybody else the best advice because we can see them 360. We can only see us from one perspective. I was just telling a client this yesterday. We only have eyes to see out of these two portals right here. That's all we see. It's hard to kind of go back and see around behind us and underneath us. We have a very limited self-awareness from that perspective. Unless we're asking people, hey, can you look behind me and see if you see anything else? And over there, do you see anything over there? Because I can't see. Can you see? If we're seeking out information and support in that way, then we can get there. But just on our own, no. But we could read everybody else's scenario, tell them exactly what they need to do, how they need to do it, what they need to stop doing, start doing, continue doing, all the things. So for me, I have a lot of self-judgment around that. Like, Allah-mi, why don't you have social media templates? You've been in business far long enough to have developed some social media templates. You've been in business long enough to have developed your one-liner sentence. I can do this very easily for everybody else. I'm over here like, okay, what is it I do? It's crazy. There's that judgment again. You see how I can catch it? And in real time, I'm going to reframe it. It's not crazy. It's a part of the process. It really is. And that's not even an excuse. That's the reality. I've had many a one-liner throughout my tenure as an entrepreneur. And at the same time, I've been growing and evolving and developing new skills and new approaches to the work. And it would make sense that I don't have one now because I'm literally still in the midst of this evolution. I've had some things figured out. I know how I want to approach and proceed with certain things. And then there's other things that I'm like, I got to sit with that. I got to feel for that. There's more to come on that. So it's like, but for me, I pressure myself to have such great clarity. Like, why don't I know? Why haven't I done? Why won't I just do? So what's happening in real life and in real time is I'm having to sit patiently with that internal pressure that says things should be different. And I'm not only just sitting with that pressure, I'm relanguaging it. to things shouldn't be different. And in fact, things are just right. Because in this process of me sitting in a place that doesn't feel like where I want to be is how I'm going to learn how to grow there. How to grow there. Remember the conversation yesterday? You are the assignment. It's not about the outcomes. It's the process. I'm not behind in this process. The process is what it is. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. But I can get lost in the here and now if I'm focused over there or if I'm focused back here and not paying attention to what actually is happening. And what actually is happening for me, since I brought up social media, my social media templates, is I'm getting clearer in real time about how I want to show up. I'm getting clearer about what imagery and what feeling I want people to connect with here and now, the version I am today, not even the one I'm gonna be later. That who I am today, if I'm not paying close attention, I'll be creating posts and content that's based on an old version of me that's not even where I am today. Be playing out old narratives about myself in plain view on social media because I'm simply not present. I'm just trying to get things done and check shit off the list, but I'm not really actively involved in the process. What I'm also learning is it's not about me creating this social media content for a lifetime, because clearly I'll be able to hire someone in the very near future to take that responsibility over. But as a leader of an enterprise, I gotta know each fucking part. Each one in as much detail as I can know it. Doesn't mean I'm gonna be doing it forevermore, but I gotta really understand this process. And if I don't slow down long enough to stay engaged in this process of God having me working on fucking social media templates when I'm trying to build a fucking empire, that's my mind. Like, I don't have time for this. I got other shit to do. Spirit's like, no, you got time. Because this is a part of the bigger picture of the other shit you got to do. So you got to understand this now. You can speed past this to get over there. This is a part of that process. This is a part of that process. This is important here and now. You may want to be doing X, Y, and Z other thing, but guess what? Not right now. You got to build this. So it's a whole fucking mindset shift. I don't know what that means to you in your life, but I can assure you that wherever you feel stuck in your life right now, you're supposed to be stuck. Because in that stuck, you're going to start to uncover new pieces about you. You're going to start to uncover new aspects of the problem that maybe you didn't see or didn't have clarity on. You're going to start to understand new possible solutions and things that you can do strategically to support yourself. But you got to get here. You can't be like so quick to want to get out of here and I don't want to be dealing with this. You fucking miss it. This is the process. So it may feel like you're behind. That doesn't mean it's true. That's your mind. That's your thinking mind, judging, evaluating, criticizing. That's your thinking mind comparing yourself to what other people are doing. I'm behind because that be in my shit. I intentionally don't follow other coaches for that reason. There are very few life coaches that I follow. Very few. Very, very few. A handful out of the 2,000 people on my thing. Very, very few. Not because I don't respect their work or think they're doing a good job or think their content is worth sharing. It's because I don't want to fall into the trap of trying to look, be, feel, do like them. I'm not here for that. I don't want to lose myself in looking at what other people are doing and comparing myself, even unconsciously. I don't want to do that. I definitely don't want to do that. Not to mention, there are certain people that I just, and some of your faves, some of your popular ones, I don't really get it. It all looks like a performance to me. I don't feel enough authenticity in how they show up. But yet I will unconsciously find myself trying to match fonts and color schemes and the way they look and show themselves and how they capture their content. I unconsciously found myself trying to slip into those modes. And even still, you look at my website right now, it's a piece of shit. Not because it's not aesthetically nice to look at. Some might find it aesthetically nice to look at. It's a piece of shit as far as I'm concerned because it does not reflect me. Again, without even trying to, I fell right back into this mold, the mold of what people expect life coaches or business consulting, what they expect that to look like. Feel free, go to Be Great Every Day right now, begreateveryday.com. It's as sterile as it wants to be. And if you follow me on this platform and you look at that website, you're like, who's this? That ain't her. That doesn't reflect Allah-mi. Allah-mi be cussing, Allah-mi be dancing, Allah-mi be talking shit, Allah-mi be serving the people in a very passionate and powerful way. You don't see none of that on that website. You might see a little bit of that on my Instagram, but it certainly doesn't correlate with the visual I built that website around. And some of you have been with me long enough to have heard me talk about rebuilding and re-updating a website probably 2, 3, 4 times. And that's been a sign of the process. The process. I had to go through all these different iterations, but I can assure you this next one that's coming, I'm super excited about it. Have not even started building it. Not literally. But I'm getting clearer on the colors and the vibe and the message. And it sounds and looks more like me. And like Vic. Like, we are not your average life coaches. We're just not. And we're not even trying to be. But unconsciously, those little comparison expectations, it should look like that or should be like this. And I know I'm not alone. I know y'all do this shit too. I know I'm not alone. And if I am, I'm okay with that. This is my process. But I know I'm not alone. So, I don't know what your internal pressure is telling you. I don't know how, what is operating in you that makes you feel like things are not where they should be. Whether it's doubt or judgment or fear or whatever it is that's playing out. I think today is a good day to start to chin check that. And to, instead of telling yourself you're behind, you're lost, you're confused, remind yourself that you're in the process of discovery. And this is not just a conversation around semantics. It's how you say a thing. This is actual reality. It's not I'm behind, I'm building. I'm building. Like, well, how long is it going to take? As long as it needs to. As long as it needs to, because inherent in this construction is divine alignment that is bringing the beauty of everything that I intend forward and up, out, up and out. It's coming. It's in process. But I ain't going to even front. This process has been years and years and years and years and years. And years and years. It's been a minute. My internal mind is like, bitch, when is it coming? When you gonna be done? That's not even my call. I don't even make that call. When you walk in a purpose-driven or purpose-led way, you're not doing shit because you just thinking of shit and you want to do it. You're doing it in response to what you know the calling is calling from you. I didn't set out to make this multi-tiered enterprise. I thought I was going to have a little life coaching and consulting firm. And now we've got everything from film and television projects and sponsored events and membership communities and retreats for businesses and all kind of shit. So, they say, whatever we can imagine, God will go greater. Whatever simple thing you think you're here to do, God will double down on that shit and magnify it. And that's a part of the process too. We start with a little bitty vision, as they say, little mustard seed. And if you stay engaged in that process, that unfolding will show you the magnitude of what you are really here to do, y'all. It will show you. But we got to stay involved in the process, because what happens when we abandon the process? We think we know what it is. We put all our effort and energy into making it what we think it should be. Hear the language, what we think it should be. Meanwhile, we're totally disconnected from the process because we're not feeling our way through it. And yeah, you may be able to create some shit and make some shit, but it won't be nearly as solid, nearly as impactful, or as rewarding as it will be if you just trust in the process. So you have your intention of what should be, and then life happens and fucking scraps that off the table. And now you're like, oh, fuck, now I don't think I want to do it anymore. Not realizing that scrap was part of the process. Do you know how many times I would have fucking quit? How many times I should have quit if I was in my ego mind? Like, this shit ain't working. I did this program, I did this group, I tried this workshop. This shit's not working. And not because it wasn't impacting people or creating positive change. It was, but it wasn't hitting the way I want. I wasn't getting the success I wanted to see. And some may still say, well, you still not. That's not true. You don't know what's behind me. You just see what's in front of you. But I know that I'm making tremendous strides to bring forth something that is sustainable and that is attractive to the marketplace and that is transformational in a very deeply, deeply transformative way. I know that. But even with that knowing, my ass will wake up like, bitch, you're behind. Quit playing. You're behind. But that just means that for those of you who resonate with that, you got to get more in your self-talk. Behind is subjective. The notion of being behind, you got to say, well, who's setting the standard for completion? Who is the one that actually determines when something is on track? What's the rubric? Your own expectations? Nope. Because your own expectations will tell you that some shit should have been done a long time ago. That's gonna be hot, 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 hot. We're making bacon today. This is me and my vegan diet. I was never vegan. I made bacon for the crew yesterday. Vic woke up, can you make some more? What are we talking about in the chat? I wanted to go back to the comment around ashwagandha. I think I saw something about that. Can you take ashwagandha? Okay. I love this little information sharing. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Okay. I used to be hella critical of myself, comparing my journey with others' journey and feeling less. Girl. Super hard on my 48-year-old self. Yep. Man. And I'm a couple years older than that, Crystal. So it's like, man, I'm too old for this. I should be further along than this. I shouldn't have to be dealing with this, that, or the other. It's all the shoulds. Yes, the Virgo in me is mad critical. Yeah, girl. Yeah, Vic does have that tat. Yeah, we do have to all remember to trust the process. It is not abnormal for us to have a clear expectation for what we want out of life and then feel away when it's not met or when life reroutes. But we got to know that that rerouting is a part of the process. It's not separate from. It's not separate from. That is a part of the journey. It's supposed to be. It's not off. It's not behind. It's aligned as anything else. Hi, baby. We on baby watch, y'all. Her due date was yesterday. Little mama said she gonna take her time. Okay, she gonna do this on her time. You want some of this?
No rush.
You said no rush. You want some of this? Okay. So that's where we are. I'm gonna pull some cards to get a little bit deeper in the massage. And I really do encourage you all to ask yourself the question, what do I feel like I'm behind on? Like, you gotta like dive into that a little bit. What do you feel like you're behind on? What aspect of your life do you feel the most, quote, behind? What do you feel like should be happening instead of what is happening? And if you're brave enough to put it in the chat, do that. What are you behind on? Name one thing. And don't say, well, no, now that you say that, nothing. No, because you're going to get off this phone and still feel like you're behind in that shit. It's still not going to be to your satisfaction because you would prefer it to be different. So to be honest with yourself. To keep it real with thine own self. All right. You said life? Period. Full stop. All of it. Sometimes it be like that. You be feeling like your whole shit is off kilter. I shouldn't be doing this. I should be doing that. This shouldn't be like this because it could have been like that. You know, it's all the things. Say what? Yeah, why I haven't figured this out yet. That's a big one. Why do I keep doing this? You know, it's all of that. All of that. Why haven't I figured this out yet? It's huge. That's huge. That's real huge for me. Why haven't I mastered this yet? I was talking to my son. I was talking to both of my kids, but my son was saying something recently about, and mind you, he's all of 20 years old, right? He was saying, like, I thought I mastered this. I thought I figured this out. And I'm like, no, son. That is not how life works. You be feeling like, okay, I got clarity on something that this is never going to be a problem for me ever again. And chances are it's going to keep circling back in some way, particularly at that age. It's like we ain't fucked it up enough to have really figured it out at that age. We haven't seen how wrong it really is to think that way or to do it that way. Maya says, yeah, I should have figured it out by now. Life. Listen. And it doesn't matter our age. Trust me. Trust me, it does not matter. It does not matter your age. Life is an ongoing process of evolution. It don't stop. Just when you think you conquered one piece, then here come a piece you wasn't thinking about. Out of nowhere. Like, oh shit, where'd this come from? I thought I figured this out. I feel like that really relates to some of you with relationships. Like, you thought you figured out where the barrier or the problem is. Like, you keep having the same problem in relationships. Like, Maybe it's just it's a soul journey, not a circumstantial situation. So many of the things that we struggle with is not just momentary in that moment. It really is a part of our soul struggle, our soul journey to master these things. And that's what be fucking us up. That's what be making us the most frustrated, because like we bump up against it, we maybe do a little healing, a little clarity, get a little enlightenment, we think it's over. It's over. That's how people look at shadow work. Oh, I dealt with that. Anytime I hear that, I'm like, okay. Okay. You dealt with this, so it's done and over with? Okay. It never is. You just go to a new level in it. You go to another corner or crevice that you wasn't paying attention to, that you didn't even know was a thing, and here it goes, in your face. And you thought you didn't dealt with it already. Okay? Everybody's agreeing with the life statement. Life, dead ass. In all aspects, like what I had envisioned for my life, this ain't it, Crystal. Girl, listen. Listen. The best advice I can tell you and give you is to just fall in love with this process. Yeah, to really, accept it, to own it. That all these hard times and all these bumps in the road and all of these, what feels like mistakes or happenstance things that you shouldn't be experiencing, it's par for the course. This message is an energy of like, be here now. Be present. Quit trying to get out of the moment. I'm not just talking to her, I'm talking to all of us. It's like, be in this moment right now in life. Trusting that divine timing is now. Yeah. Girl, you need to talk to the people. Talk to the people. Shit. It's true though. Divine timing is now, in the midst of what may feel like a detour or a mistake or some shit that you wasn't even trying to think about. Like why is this happening again or still? It's because it's supposed to. It's supposed to. You're not behind, you're being built. Everything is perfectly in alignment, just as it is. Those broken relationships, that failed marriage, that job that you can't stand, it's perfectly where it's supposed to be in your life right now. Yeah, unexpected pregnancy. As an example. It's real talk. It's perfect. There are no mistakes under the sun. Not near one. Not near one, y'all. So it's an energy of really not just accepting what is, but honoring it. Getting curious about it. What did it come to teach you? What does this meanwhile of feeling like you're stuck or stagnant or not moving in the direction as fast as you want to? What are you supposed to be getting out of this moment? Where's the lesson in it? What's the awakening that it's trying to give you? And that's a whole other mindset, because some of y'all be like, this is a mistake, this shouldn't be happening. And I'm not just talking even about your personal life. This is a tough one to say out loud, but I'm gonna say it anyway. You know how when someone passes away and we say gone too soon? That's a tough one to really accept. That's a real tough one. Because we be feeling like everybody's supposed to live forever. Everybody's supposed to live forever. And that's just not the story for all of us. Everybody's got their role to play. Life happens just as it's supposed to. And that's that about that. But when we have an expectation that things should be different, that's what be fucking us up. Accepting what is a real thing, man. A real thing. And honoring it. Honoring it. That is a lot of grease. All right. I'm drawn to this animal apothecary card. Let's get into it. Let's get physical. Physical. Now I'm feeling much differently about looking at it from a positive standpoint. Learning was a part. Learning that part. Which part? Oh, frustrated when I realized there's no one. Yeah, girl. That whole awakening of like shadow work is an ongoing process. It's not just a moment in time. That'd be fucking a lot of people up. Because they'd be like, I went to therapy for that already. Yeah, you did, and you still are. And you still need to be, even if it's not with somebody. Those are our most important lessons, the ones that linger. The most important. I feel like the mastery comes in the continuation of understanding that it has to circulate. The understanding has to continue to circulate. Yes. So who y'all don't see in the background, she don't want to be on camera, I guess. She a 5'1", supposed to be talking to the people, to them too. Oh. But she's saying basically that's how mastery is born. Is that we keep having to revisit shit that we feel like we got over because it's supposed to build in us a new level of resistance to conquer it. Quite literally. How else do you become a master at something unless you have routine practice at it? New levels and new levels and new levels. So let me get my last piece of bacon off the plate. Vicky Lee, we almost there. Let me make some eggs. Let me make some eggs. Turn that off too. I'm gonna bring the party over here a little bit. Yeah, that's how mastery is actually born. When you gotta reintroduce yourself to the same old problem, but in a new way. Yikes, okay. Ooh. What? I think you should too. I want to introduce y'all to Destiny. Destiny Selena. This is Big Junior. Hola, hola. This is the baby we waiting on. Beep. That's crazy how you can't even see it until it's way down here. No, I was just thinking about my journey of self-worth has had a lot to do with my relationships. And one thing that I've had to, I'd say, connect my self-worth to is how I give myself away or what parts of myself I'm giving away, and had a lot to do with, physical intimacy. And I'd say one of the hardest acceptances that I had to have was with this pregnancy, because it was a duplication. The act of getting pregnant was a duplication of the same thing that I've been working to master over so many years, which is speaking up in the moment for myself, which I'm kind of talking in circles, but basically, I feel like sex, okay, was a thing that I would allow to happen, even if I didn't want it to happen, even if I didn't want to do it. And that's something that I've had to really sit with for a long time in each relationship, and like be able to pinpoint, like, am I doing this because I want to do it? Am I able to speak up for myself? Why am I not able to speak up for myself? And so in this more recent connection, everything's good. I just noticed the pattern of, in the moment, not speaking up for myself again. And then I wind up pregnant from it. Ooh! Because all the other times, it wasn't no lingering consequences too much. But yeah, so this is one of the biggest, like, pills to swallow
outside of just being pregnant, it's not just about that. It's about thinking about, dang, what did I not do? What could I have done? You know, and in reflection, I was judging myself for not in the moment, you know, feeling like I learned my lesson of needing to speak up. And I didn't speak up. And now I have a baby.
So to tie it back to the theme of feeling like you're behind in life.
Mm-hmm.
It's safe to
Or
say.
shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
But I thought I mastered it. Yeah. I did 3 years of celibacy. You know, I wasn't dating for over 5 years.
Yeah.
The relationships I had, you know, I feel like they taught me so much that I should have been learning from that. And then
you didn't understand the assignment.
Man, the assignment got me.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so this time I was like, dang, I could have sworn
You had that figured out.
I could have
right?
sworn
Yeah.
I knew what to do in the moment. And then I didn't do that. But I now understand that everything happens exactly how it's supposed to. I knew that, but in certain circumstances, when it's beyond you, it'd be hard to accept. Yeah. And so now, you know, I have a different mindset and perspective on it. But that's what came to my mind, because that's something that I felt like I was mastering. Yeah. But it just showed up in a different way, in a more evolved way, and now it's including a child. Right. And it's like, dang, you know, gotta really sit with some stuff. But everything happens
for a divine reason.
Yeah. No, and I'm actually very happy to be having a baby, and I was gonna have a baby regardless. I did want to have a baby regardless at some point. Right. It just wasn't on the timing that I thought.
I think it's worth noting how old you are too as we're having this conversation.
About to be 30. Got like 5 months.
So it's not like
I feel like I did good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like you're, 17 and pregnant,
Right.
So I don't think all is lost on your level of mastery that you were working toward.
No.
You just didn't think you was gonna drop a load soon. That just makes you like most of everybody else who didn't plan to have a baby and get pregnant. Unfortunately, that's probably more the norm than it is someone actually planning their pregnancy,
But I think it was a little different is that I was actually working on my sense of self-worth, my sense of being able to advocate for myself.
I feel like you need to talk more about that. There's something about self-worth. Like, talk about your journey beyond, like, your sexual expectations.
Self-worth. My self-worth ties back to, obviously, childhood. But I feel like, and I say relationships, and relationships are not just me with another masculine person, but all relationships. But I do feel like my self-worth didn't even have to do with another person. It had to do with how I view myself and what I feel I was worthy of. And a lot of times I feel like I let myself down in many situations. Yeah. I feel like I let myself down in many situations.
Give us an example. And I'm saying that, one, I know my audience. And obviously self-worth is probably one of the top 5 things that people come into coaching for. It's because they don't feel confident, they don't feel like they really love themselves, or like they're able to really honor their gifts, their uniqueness. And of course it comes from like how we're raised. But also, even outside of that, it's how we continue to condition ourselves. It's like at some point we become responsible for ourselves, no matter what happened to us early in life.
Yeah.
And it comes down to our choices. So it's like either you're going to choose to keep ignoring yourself, or you're going to start taking effort. And I know you are one that takes like conscious intention to take care of yourself.
Now. Yeah.
Right, but so talk about what was the difference. How did you get here?
Well, I feel like I recognize the pattern of what I deemed as hurting myself or not honoring myself, not listening to myself, not paying attention to myself, recognizing like how I was stunting my growth. It was like different patterns that kept popping up in all situations, you know. I feel like my voice was a big one. That had a lot to do with self-worth.
Like, what do you mean?
Not. Just not feeling worthy enough to speak my truth, to speak from my heart, to be honest with myself. Being honest with myself was like, okay, I may know it inside, but I'm not gonna make it a big deal. I'm not gonna let anybody know that this is bothering me or that this is affecting me. And it's like there's so many levels that I still am having to apply that.
Consciousness.
Yeah. I'm so guilty. Yeah, me too. And I think that's where the acceptance has come in, is like understanding that in each phase of my life, I'm gonna be, I don't want to say tested, but I'm gonna be presented with more opportunities to really stand in my worth. And it's like, I'm not really good at thinking of examples on the fly, but I know that, for example, with my father, I expected certain things from him, and then I lost expectation because he did not come through. And I think from a child, I know that because he didn't come through, there were parts of me that didn't come through for myself. And also in my relationships, I didn't expect people to come through, you know? It was like I just allowed whatever to be whatever. It just is what it is. And it affected me more than it affected anybody else. So I feel like it's all connected. Everything's so interconnected that it's like, until I took time to see all the little pieces of who I am and why I am this way, and like actually sit with that shit. Which I think that was my celibacy period. Yeah, it was the most silent, and I don't want to say it wasn't lonely, but it was very lonesome. Very lonesome period. But
I like to call it being with yourself.
Yeah, is that lonesome?
Lonesome usually indicates that there's a desire for company.
Oh, and there was.
Being alone. Well,
There was.
There's that.
It was. I just had to like remind myself, like, why am I in this situation? And yeah, that taught me, that season taught me to do for me and love on me, and what that even looks like. Like, how do I love myself? Because I feel like I was not loving myself the way I needed to.
Yeah.
Now that I understand.
How do you know?
How do I know?
Yeah, how do you know that?
Oh, because I was hurting myself. I was so disappointed. I was just constantly disappointed myself. Yeah, my decisions and what I allowed to happen, and how I allow myself to just continue in ways, or allowing myself to be treated certain ways. It was disappointing, and I wanted to blame other people, but it was like, chick, it's you. So how are you getting this energy from? How are you experiencing this? You know, or is it blame that you want to put on other people, or is it just you understanding what makes you the way you are. So
What you're doing.
yeah, it's so complex, so many pieces to it. Yeah.
So what I hear is self-accountability. That's kind of the theme that I'm hearing. It's not like somebody called you out, like you doing this, that, and the other. It's like looking yourself in the mirror and confronting the parts that you know aren't working for you. But there's something, Destiny, that happens in that equation that maybe you can't even put into words. But it's like we don't just be doing things one way and then all of a sudden miraculously we do it completely different. There's a transition in there that
Yeah.
I think everybody is fighting to know what do I do right there? You know, like
You
what
know,
do I do right there?
the transition period to me was solitude.
Yeah.
Because it's like I couldn't hang out. I chose not to, and I think God removed people from my life so that I could not be distracted. It was like the distractions were keeping me from really feeling and hearing and processing. Yeah, and so without the distractions, I just had to like really sit with so many feelings and remembering and moments of reflection. I had to really reflect. And it was the hardest season, I would say, for me because it's like when you don't have somebody else to justify or to spend time with and take your mind off things, you're just you're replaying things over and over again. You're like asking yourself a million questions. You're like going through periods of sadness because you're remembering what role you played and what, and like all of that. So I think the transition period for me was reflection.
Yeah.
And it's like I didn't really choose to be in solitude, but the the situation that I put myself in put me in solitude. There was no way around
you chose it. No,
I did choose it.
you chose it
I did choose it.
because you said I was lonely. So
I did choose it.
And you know you ain't got no shortage of company if you want some company.
Okay. At the time, I also didn't either.
I could feel her energy. I just got all chills you saying that. I could feel her energy listening.
Who you?
No, not Jerry. Though, like she said, so did me celebrate?
Oh.
Help you shift the mindset.
Yeah.
So that's the funny part. So when I got on here talking in the beginning, that's why I mentioned the mastery that I thought I had. I thought I had because there's so many levels to it, but celibacy helped me to understand what I deserve to give myself, how I deserve to treat myself, because of all the reflection that I did. And the relationships that I were in were like, I was dating narcissistic people. You know, I was in situations where I gave someone more energy, way more energy than I ever gave myself, way more effort than I ever gave myself. So celibacy absolutely helped shift my mindset to like remember my value, to even recognize my value. But I think that that celibacy, yes, it was like part of the solitude, keeping myself to myself.
That part.
Yeah.
Keeping myself to myself.
Yeah. It's like I really didn't bounce ideas off of people around what I should do, how I should do it, how I was thinking, what was affecting me. I just sat with it. I just had to sit with it many days. And it was a time where I lost my grandma, and I grew up with her. We were real close in different regards. And so it was a whole bunch of things happening. And I'll tell y'all what led me to celibacy. I'll tell you this. I was in California. I had went to California on a whim with this man that I was dating for 3 years. He had a whole nother chick in California. I knew he had the chick, but he was lying. And we was out there for like 7, 8 months. And it was winter time. And I remember I had came back to the apartment. He was not picking up. I was supposed to leave to come to my grandmother's funeral. And I stayed at the airport for a whole like 24 hours. I slept there and everything. Ended up catching a taxi back to the apartment. He was not answering his phone. And at the time, I had given so much. I had given like my last dollars. Right. Okay, I was supporting the dream of this, of this man. It was that serious. I was supporting the dream. And so my phone was off. Like, he had gave me his second business phone. So I'm calling his other phone he has. No answer, no answer. So someone told me, call the chick, because she had, the number was in his phone. I searched, called the chick. Anyways, he was over there. So I sat outside that apartment door for about 3 or 4 hours in the cold in California. Oh, it was the most, like,
That's humiliating.
oh, it was like, in that moment I said, Destiny, there's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way you can do this to yourself. Ever. You just can't. This is not okay. You're allowing this.
Yeah.
And so that was the moment of like, you're allowing this. Like,
Clarity.
yeah, like for a long time I did not connect the dots of what I allow is what I will receive from myself and other people.
Right.
So,
Anywho. What I allow is what I will receive.
man. So I sat outside the door. He came back. He was mad at me. And I ended up getting choked, y'all.
Shut up, Destiny.
I ended up getting choked because I was like calling him out, telling him where he was, and he was, I just went over to get my, whatever. He was denying it.
Right.
Okay. The next morning, I left and came back to Texas. My grandma's funeral happened, and then I hear nothing from him. He ghosted me.
Shut your ass.
He ghosted me. He ghosted me. Yep. Straight ghosted me for like, it was like a year. I say about 10 months. I heard nothing from him. And for me, that was so distraught because it was like such a traumatic time in my life. You know, he had just did what he did. You know, I had moved my whole life of what I knew at the time out there. You know, and I had abandoned my family to me because, like, I knew my grandma wasn't feeling well, but I still chose to go out there, and she ain't like him, and it was a whole bunch of shit. Yeah, and so I'm gonna read y'all comments. Yeah. So when I got back in that whole 10 months, so God removed him, you know, and I was very mad at him. I was like, how dare you not check in on me, you know, like, you know, yeah, show up for me. He wasn't supposed to. Right. And I needed that time to like really understand. It took me years to like not blame him. Right. And to really just understand the real truth of the situation, which was that I needed to tap back in. Like, I was so outside of myself that I was not recognizing the patterns of my own betrayal. That's what it is. That's what it was. The patterns of my own betrayal.
I did a live on that a couple weeks ago about betraying myself. Yeah.
Mom, I hated this nigga so much before it all happened. Hilarious. Hi, Alicia. Yeah. So yeah, that led me into my celibacy journey, and the journey was very difficult. But then it became so magical because I gained so much power. There was just so much power in being able to keep myself to myself.
Reconnect with yourself.
Regulate myself. Yes. Reconnect with myself. Yeah, and on a whole different level, because I really feel like, you know, it's like there are certain ages where you don't reflect. You're just living.
Doing.
Yeah. And I was in like the mid, I'd say 24, 25. And so it was a pivotal time for me to connect with who I want to be moving forward. But then, you know, I had a few relationships after that, and I was very strict about myself, my body, what I'm giving to people. And so to bring it all back to what Allah-mi was talking about is that, you know, sometimes we question why things are happening or feeling like we should have figured things out. We shouldn't be repeating the same pattern. But what I realized is that the pattern is really there for us to continue to evolve in and understand what we need. It's like understanding what we need. So in each situation, I gain more clarity of what I need. In this situation, I've gained more clarity of what I need. What I need to give myself, you know, what I need to progress and not, is degress a word? I don't know.
Regress?
Regress, you know.
No, digress.
Oh, digress. Okay, not degress, but digress. Yeah. And it's like we gain different clarity and understanding through each situation we have. So it's all about perspective. And like I said, for a while I was distraught and sad and blaming. And then I had the epiphany. I woke up and I was like, it's you. So what are you gonna do about you?
Woke up and I realized you were the problem.
It's you. So now it's like, okay, I'm pregnant. And I brought that up because I was still practicing my celibacy in many different ways. But in this particular situation, I feel like I had to learn also in my last relationship was speaking up for myself because I was a very mute child, I feel like. And it had a lot to do with, well, now I know it has a lot to do with my human design too, but it had a lot to do with my not feeling valued and not putting value on myself. So in this particular situation, there was a moment of speak up, and I didn't. And, you know, with that, when you don't do what you know you need to do in your spirit, you have regret, you know, you question, you doubt, like, man, maybe I shoulda, coulda, woulda. But all things happen exactly how they're supposed to. And the clarity that I've gained from even going through this transition and transformation and growing a child is so magnificent because it's just allowed me to expand. It's expanded my mind, my heart, my reasoning. You know, it's like you have different reasonings for living and, you know, moving forward or pursuing things and all of this. So, anywho, that's my story, part of my story.
Story time. I know.
Thanks for letting me share, y'all.
No, I do. Destiny, thank you so much because this is what I want this platform to become.
I see you, McMeans. No, go ahead.
No, this is what I want this platform. I don't want to just be on here talking all the time because all of y'all have stories to tell. All of y'all got messages and wisdom that you have gained through your own lives and your own, what someone you might even call a mistake or a mishap or some misguided decisions that you made. It's like all that shit comes to pass for a reason. And sometimes that reason is not even just our own experience. It's like you went through all of that to share that with these people this morning, okay?
Yeah.
Because somebody in here needed to hear that, you know? I just give thanks to God. Thank you, Destiny. Thank you. So, I don't feel like I need to add anything on top of that, honestly. I think everybody should probably listen to this message again because there were so many micro nuggets in the midst of the big nuggets. And if you didn't hear nothing else today, just know that your life in its current iteration with the current people that are in it and the current conditions that you're in is not on accident. It's not on accident. It's not through a mistake. It's not a coincidence. It's by design. So the sooner you can learn to really embrace it and stay present in it, as opposed to trying to fast forward through it and make it be over with or make it be something else. It's like get the magic in the moment. Trust the process, even when it don't feel good. They're all saying thank you for sharing.
Thank y'all for being present while I share.
It's like even if the shit don't make sense, it don't feel good, it ain't what you would have picked. It's purpose in it. Okay, it's big purpose in it. And sometimes we don't get to know what that purpose is right away. Sometimes we gotta wait it out a couple years. Sometimes we gotta be a little bit upset and mad at God for a second, because like, why the fuck you letting this shit happen? It's gotta be some of that sometimes. But it is ultimately for us to really not just trust the process, but to know that the process is going on. There is a process to this. It's not an accident, it's not a mistake. So 77 minutes, that tells me it's my time to go. I love y'all. I love y'all. You got something to say?
No, this, I'm proud of my baby.
You proud of your baby? I'm proud of your baby too. She did good.
And she's very sweet and kind. She loves her mama, so she don't want to like, you know,
Put you on blast?
put me on blast. But yeah, it's like moms, we contribute a lot toward our. We play a big role in how our children see themselves.
We don't have to worry about this mayonnaise
Yeah.
situation.
And I know I put in the chat that I was a single mom, survival mode, stressed the fuck out, and I know I didn't give my children all of the attention and care and individual attention that they needed and affirming them. I know I didn't, and so I've talked to her on many occasions about how I can look back and see how her self-worth took a hit based on me being busy, distracted, doing all the kind of things to survive and not really tuning into my kids. And so I understand that that's a part of her process too. That's a part of the learning and becoming. And I used to blame myself a lot. Sometimes I still do. But I've learned that that's a part of the process. We're given the parents we're meant to have in this lifetime to learn the lessons they need to learn. And she needed to learn these lessons of resilience and self-fortitude. And she needed a mama like me who didn't do all the things right in order to learn that lesson. And I accept my role in that. So it's like, it's a lesson for all of us. You know, all of us, we got exactly what we need in this lifetime to learn what we need to learn. And it's our egos want to say, no, I did everything right and I was there and I tried, and make all the excuses and talk about the extenuating circumstances. And yeah, that's a factor too. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. It was what it was, and it was exactly what it needed to be. Period. So, thanks for listening to my baby, Destiny Selena.
No, and I love that you brought that full circle,
Yeah.
because we're all children and parents. Some of us are parents, but we're all children.
Mm-hmm.
We all have a family of origin story,
Yeah.
one way or another. And even if you came from the best of families, there's still some bullshit that you had to experience on some level.
Absolutely.
So it is, I love being able to share that story from both perspectives,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
Because you walking around with stuff you can get from your mama too.
Heck yeah.
Just like I am,
Yeah.
just like everybody.
Yeah. And I want to say, I had Destiny. She's my oldest. I had her when I was 20. I got pregnant at 19. I had her at 20. And my one thing was, y'all just don't get pregnant early in your teens. Like, give yourself time. And I'm really proud of her. She gave herself time to work through her 20s and do what she had to do and all them things. And, life happens when it's meant to happen. And she may feel at this point like, wow, I wasn't really planning to have a baby at this moment. But babies come when they're meant to be here.
They sure do.
Yeah, ready or not. And it's part of our self-evolution. This is her Saturn return, y'all. She's 29. Think back when you were 29, because I think most of you may be a little older than that.
I
Or
had
maybe
two
right in there.
babies.
29. Life be changing right at that time. When your Saturn return comes, it's the first time that the constellations are in the exact point of when you were born. It's at 29. And so usually your life is going to flip upside down around that time.
Rebirth.
Yeah, rebirth. So, all right, bye.
Yeah, I want to say one more thing is that also.
And another thing.
Oh, you don't got to put me on.
Okay.
But I do want to say that I think that it's important to say.
I'm gonna put her on anyway because she's talking.
There are a lot of things that we feel like we miss or that we don't receive, and they're all valid. But I feel like human design helped me to understand the like the
What your soul was really supposed to experience.
right, the truth of what this is, my existence is for. And so it's not so much about what my mama didn't do or my daddy didn't do. It's like, this is what I'm here to experience, to understand, to move through, you know, and it takes the guilt or like the disappointment aspect out of it so much. It's not so personal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't look at it from such a personal perspective anymore. It's like, no, this is what I'm supposed to be moving through. This is my life plan. Yeah. So.
No, that's good ad. That's a real good ad.
Yeah.
Because it's true. It's like our souls came here to experience some shit. And your soul knew what parents you was going to get, what siblings you was going to have or not have, what school you was going to go to. It's like it was written already. You're the last to know. You were the first to know and the last. Okay? It's like you're the first to know. You forget. Come into this realm like, I didn't sign up for this bullshit. That's what I was thinking. But honestly, we did. Okay? We honestly actually did. So.
And it's like, if you don't accept that mission, then you miss your mission.
Yeah. She said, if you don't accept the mission, then you miss it. Ashe. 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 God is so great. I love these magical moments. I love this. I love the serendipity in this. I love the alignment in it. As you talking in real time, about to have a baby any day now, about her process to becoming as she's entering motherhood. Such a beautiful time. All right, y'all. We're going to be out on the streets again Monday because we be here Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern. Sometimes it's a little bit later. Y'all know. But the morning messages with Allah-mi and Destiny and Vic and whoever else want to join. Y'all holla at me if you want to share a message because I would love to be able to showcase more of your own personal stories as opposed to just being the centerpiece all the time. You all have so much to share. And I thank y'all. Love you so much. Have a good weekend. Have a great day. No matter what.